Welcome back to Movie Recapped. Today I will show you an action, adventure, fantasy film from 2019, titled Coma. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A beautiful city can be seen, but as we move closer it begins to crackle and dissipate into a short interval where a woman gets hurt in a car accident. The same city is revealed to be an architectural model in the middle of an apartment. A man wakes up and looks through the place, finding a photo of him and a woman with an obscured face. Everything he touches starts crackling and reforming, including the entire apartment ceiling. The man walks outside and sees someone in the dissipated state. Outside he sees the same thing happening to the building. When he turns around he sees the world twisted up in an indescribable way. He walks around confused, seeing other dissipated people, and the entire city looks like a massive collection of buildings from different cities floating in the sky. He looks at one of them and it starts to reform and reconstruct. Suddenly, he hears distant eerie laughter and sees a massive creature running toward him. Before it can get to him, it gets blown up. 3 people arrive to his aid and start dragging him away. One of them, Phantom, tries to stop the creature further, but it keeps reforming fast and going after them as they run. The man gets pushed onto another part of the city as if the laws of physics don't work. The 4 of them get to a place that looks like Venice. The man gets left behind when the others jump up, but when he sees the creature following, he jumps as well. The creature jumps at them too, but Phantom shoots at it. His hand bleeds and the blood dissipates. The creature lags behind, and as soon as they think they've escaped it, it reappears. One of the people, Pilot, sacrifices himself for the others. The rest keep on running and eventually loose the creature behind. The man asks the woman, Fly, what has happened to him? She tells him that he's in a coma that is shared between everyone else who's in a coma as well. Everything that he can see is a memory by the people in that coma. They continue navigating through the strange place, and the woman tells him that the people he has seen are memories too. Then she magically heals his wound. They get to the safe place where the people live by entering a bus in a field, then exiting from the other door to reach a completely different location on the other side. Fly calls it a memory gap. Outside they're met with others who ask about Pilot. A man appears on the balcony, Yan, telling them that his sacrifice was worth it. As Fly takes the man to his room, she tells him that they have to constantly be on alert for the Reapers. She also tells him that Yan has a good feeling that the man can help them get to an island in coma where the Reapers can't get to. The man can't remember his name, so she tells him to give himself a nickname, before someone else does. Fly also says that dreams materialize when they sleep. When she shows him his room, she tells him that only the main squad lives on the 2nd floor and the rest downstairs, unsure of why he gets to join the squad without an initiation. His room is empty, but Fly assures him that it will start filling up as he stays there longer. Before she leaves, Fly explains that Yan is the one who figured out how the place works and in essence saved all of their lives. The man tries to rest. That night he has a dream about the model city, then sees a religious poster. He walks into a building and sees the back of a man, then he's suddenly in a car accident with a woman. When he wakes up, he sees that his nightmare has materialized in his room, with him on the back seat of a car in the building he was in. Phantom walks into his room impressed by that. He tells him not to go inside the materialization, because it's dangerous. Then Phantom apologizes for being rude to him and explains that Yan has a plan about the people from the safe place, but he isn't too keen on it. The man then antagonizes Phantom over an issue with Fly, but he reminds him that he's the leader of the squad. He tells him that everyone is waiting for him. Yan joins Fly on the balcony, as Phantom takes the man in the yard. He explains that people develop special abilities in coma, like Spirit who can sense danger and summon spirits, and Astronomer who can create maps. To discover those abilities the person needs to be put in danger. Phantom demonstrates his ability, then orders Gnome to shoot a round at the man. He gets shot twice, but doesn't show any ability. Phantom orders Gnome to bring out a special machine built for testing abilities. The giant robot goes after the man, but when he tries to escape, Phantom takes the controls and keeps pounding him and telling him to fight back. Eventually, the man cowers and Phantom stops pushing him. He asks what he did before getting to coma, and the man thinks he was an architect. He tells him that he'll be in Cable's team. A Reaper is seen approaching the safe place, as 2 of the people blow up the path. The man has another dream. He sees the same poster and people gesturing the same way. Then he enters a building that looks like a hospital. There are people lying on bunks and orderlies trying to sedate him. He's in a getaway car with a woman, when the car crashes and he wakes up for the afternoon shift. Construction is underway in the safe place, as Cable looks over the people working. Phantom walks outside and asks Cable to join their search for more explosives. He sees the man working and gives him the nickname Architect. Cable tries to comfort him by telling him that it might be better that he doesn't have any abilities. He says that he can have a safe life there and then get back to his own when he's out of the coma. Yan appears and comments how that could take a while, since time is different in coma. One could live there for thousands of years, while in the real world it's much less. Yan tells the man that eventually he might want to explore his powers more. The architect says that he wants to build something, but doesn't know how to yet. Yan tells him that he believes that all of them are there for a reason, maybe because they couldn't make it in the real world. Since the architect can't remember much about his life before, Yan tells him that he could start anew in coma and make his life there whatever he wanted. Phantom is showing Fly how to use a gun, when the architect joins them and asks to go with them on the outside. Yan asks them to take the man along as a favor to him. They leave the safe place and navigate the complex physics of coma. When they reach a tunnel, Astronomer tells Architect that Gnome and Cable remember it from before, explaining that every once in a while people figure out whom a certain memory belongs to. He also tells him his theory that the dreams they have there are very different. Architect gets it in his head that one can escape coma through their dreams, but Phantom interrupts their conversation and tells him that the people who try doing that always die. Suddenly, Spirit senses the Reapers. Astronomer calms them by saying that they'll need at least 2 days to get to them. When Architect starts questioning about them further, he finds out from Gnome that they can sense, but not see them. That's why he created the whistle, a tool to draw them to one of the group, then blow them up, like Pilot did for him. The Reapers are also coma patients, but ones that are brain dead. In coma they are in a perpetual state of decay, able to turn others like them. The squad reaches the place where they can get explosives. Cable tells them to take care of the security guards, which he remembers being there. Phantom gives everyone their orders and they go in. They stop to give Cable a moment to remember, as the deconstructed memories of factories float around them. He points to a hangar. Phantom throws a grenade at one group of guards that sends them into a full-on fight with the rest. He antagonizes them head-on, as the rest of the squad fight from a safer place. They all work together with their abilities to fight the guards, but one of the squad, Tank, gets shot. Fly heals him, as Gnome goes to the hangar to open the door. Meanwhile, the fight ends and Astronomer argues with Phantom for antagonizing the guards. But he just ends up reminding him and the rest that he's their leader. Gnome opens the door of the hangar. Once inside, they see a submarine which Cable doesn't remember, but says that if they get even one torpedo, the explosive would last them for a month. Phantom sends him off to get it. As Cable and the others try to get the torpedo out of the submarine, working from top to bottom, Fly offers to heal Phantom. He refuses. Suddenly, Spirit senses Reapers. Gnome turns around to take a look and sees 3 Reapers approaching. Astronomer says that they'll be there in 30 seconds, but Cable needs at least a minute for the torpedo. Phantom is ready to leave Cable and Gnome behind and tells the rest to follow him out, but Architect makes them stay. He tries remembering a ramp, and in the moment that Phantom shoots in the air hitting one of the chains that hold the torpedo, it starts manifesting, saving Cable and the rest from certain death. When the Reapers reach the submarine, the squad is already gone. That night they're back at the safe place, celebrating and telling Yan how everything went down. Phantom gets an idea about Architect. He says that he can build walls and bridges for them to visit places they've never been to before. Yan has something else in mind. He explains that the island, which would be safe from the Reapers, can be built by the Architect's imagination, free of memories entirely. Architect is reluctant, but agrees to do it anyway. Yan thinks that they should head out immediately, but Phantom disagrees and thinks they should discuss it first and prepare. Astronomer agrees, because he would need time to find a safe path for the massive group of people. Yan, however, tells them that they will leave tomorrow. He also makes Astronomer the squad leader, which upsets Phantom. The two of them argue and Phantom mentions that there are certain things that the others don't know about. Later, Architect practices his ability, but has trouble manifesting anything. Fly joins him and he loses focus. He gets agitated and prepares to leave, when she tells him that when he did it before a blueprint appeared before the ramp did. Architect realizes that he needs to imagine the entire construction map in 3D. Suddenly, he builds the model building from his apartment. Fly asks him to show her his room full of memories. Once there, she immediately asks about the car and the woman inside. He says that he doesn't remember much, but that it doesn't really matter since he's not keen on waking up anymore, because he's met her there. The only thing Fly can remember from her real life is that she couldn't be with the one she loved, but that in coma everything is possible. The two of them kiss, as Phantom spies on them. The next day, the people are getting ready for the journey. Astronomer and Spirit assure Yan that the place where they can build the island and the road to get there are safe from Reapers. Meanwhile, Phantom steals a whistle from Gnome's bag. The people exit the bus with the Astronomer up front. Architect and Fly hold hands. Simultaneously, a few Reapers sense them coming out. Architect asks Yan what he should build on the island and says that he would like to use a project design for a client. Everyone starts barking requests at him for what they would want, when Spirit suddenly senses Reapers. Astronomer has to make a decision if they should continue or head back, so he asks Phantom for his opinion. He thinks that the squad should go on a reconnaissance mission, while Yan stays back with the rest of the people. Astronomer gives Architect precise directions and tells the rest to spread out. Architect finds the plane he was looking for, when a Reaper suddenly appears. Phantom hears an explosion behind him. Tank has blown up the Reaper and saves Architect, explaining that Yan sent him. They come back to Yan's group along with the rest of the squad and Phantom wrestles Architect, searching for the whistle. When the rest realize that he planted a whistle on him, he starts changing into a Reaper. Phantom tells them that it was Yan who put them in coma, but Yan shoots him, making him change faster. Phantom keeps saying that they need to leave because more Reapers are coming. One of them kills Gnome, then another gets Cable. The Reapers are circling the group of people as Architect tries to build some kind of protection. Yan stops him and tells Tank to get into the bus. The Reapers keep wreaking havoc on the rest and Phantom has a close encounter with one of them. He activates the whistle, but the thing just turns away and doesn't go after him. The squad almost reaches the bus, when more Reapers appear and they run the other way. Suddenly, Architect sees his reality crackling and dissipating. He wakes up in a hospital. He has a flashback about his architectural plans and the client he was making them for. Architect is in a car with a woman, who is actually Fly. She's driving him to meet a big client, but tells him that his client is a sect, using him for his ideas. A man greets them at the gate, telling him that he can enter there alone. He agrees and tells Fly to wait and she gives him a taser before he exits the car. The man brings Architect inside of the house and tells him that it used to be a hospital. They walk through the corridors of the house which Architect has dreamt about and eventually get to the client. He's looking at Architect's plans and is very impressed. The client is revealed to be Yan. He wants to show him something to prove that he can build what the Architect has imagined. They take him down to the basement and Yan tells him the truth about Coma. Orderlies try to restrain and sedate him, but he shocks them and escapes. He runs out and Fly saves him. They start driving and she keeps yelling at him, when they suddenly get hit by a truck. People from the sect run over to them. Architect wakes up in the hospital again and sees Fly on the bunk next to him. Yan is there telling him that she was put in a coma just a couple of hours before him, but in coma it had been months. He explains that he's not a spiritual leader, but a scientist. Religion was simply a means to finance his project. Yan tells Architect that he planned for his project to be built in coma so they can actually live there. Architect asks if any of the people gave their permission to be put in a coma, so Yan tells him the story of Phantom, who remembered everything about his life and decided he didn't want to come back. The encounter with the Reaper caused a necrosis in his brain in the real world. Architect wants to be freed, but Yan threatens him that he'll hurt Fly if he doesn't go back to finish the build. He promises not to keep anyone inside against their will after it is done. Architect agrees to do it. They give him a drug that will help his brain recover faster and make him stronger inside of coma as well. Yan tells him that there is a way to get out of the imaginary world from the inside, but he'll only show it to him if he does what he promised to do. Architect wakes up in coma and immediately remembers why he was there. Meanwhile, the squad is fighting the Reapers and get down to one grenade. Suddenly, they see a bridge manifesting from thin air. Architect shows up and tells them that the world around them isn't what they think it is. The squad gets to the place where the island should be built. Architect tells them what coma really is, when Yan shows up and tells him that it isn't fair to share the truth with them after all they've been through. Architect starts building the island. At everyone's astonishment, he builds everything there from scratch, buildings and all. When it's finished, Yan asks why would they need reality when they can have that beautiful island. Architect asks that he let them go, but Yan has a different plan. He tells Spirit, Tank and Astronomer about their horrible lives in the real world. Lastly, he tells Architect that he's the worst of them all, a childish dreamer with ideas way ahead of their time, alienating everyone, including Fly. Yan's project gave meaning to his life. Fly finally remembers who she is. The rest tell Yan that they want to stay in coma. Unfortunately, he won't be able to let them because they know the truth behind all of it. Suddenly, Tank starts disappearing and Yan tells them that they are being killed in the real world. They have a little bit more time in coma before they're all gone. Architect remembers what Yan told him about the way out and thinks he can find it too. Him and Astronomer think that the dreams are the way out and head toward the bus. Spirit is left behind and slowly disappears too. Yan sees the three of them running to the bus. When they arrive there, Astronomer sees the Reapers in the safe place. Once inside, Architect distracts them with Gnome's machine and they are able to get to his room. They enter his dream and head toward the house. Unfortunately, the inside of it isn't the way he remembered. Astronomer tells him that he needs to concentrate and find the room. They go up the stairs, but everything looks like a mixture of memories and dreams. They walk up to a door where Architect thinks the room is, but instead end up outside. Astronomer tells him to think about the details of the room instead of its location. He remembers something and takes them outside again. The poles in front of the house look like ancient Egyptian poles, like a painting he saw in the room. Astronomer congratulates him, but then disappears. Yan is already waiting for them there. They try to fight him as he gives a speech about the reason for creating the illusory world of Coma. He tells Architect that the neural signals in the brain that represent emotions are the same in the real world as in a coma. The life in coma is as real as it gets. Architect starts dying, when a Reaper suddenly kills Yan. Phantom is the Reaper and he lets them live. Architect goes toward the Egyptian temple and reality starts dissolving for him again, but Fly starts disappearing as well. Architect wakes in the hospital and immediately goes over to Fly's bunk. He wakes her up. Yan's assistant comes in and sees that the necrosis has started in Yan's brain. Architect and Fly leave the place without resistance from the assistant. Sometime later in the real world, the Architect is designing a building, when Fly joins him. They listen to the news reporting on Yan's project. The sect won't be indicted for the experiments and is in fact gaining more and more followers. The Architect gets another invitation from them, but hides it from Fly. The model of the building can be seen boxed up in their apartment. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.